Hello everyone, welcome back to the Last Ditch podcast. A very miserable day all across England today. Obviously, as you'll all be aware, England lost another European final. More heartbreak for England in major tournaments. I don't know if this feels worse than the last Euros, because I think losing on pens is the worst way to lose a game of football, and we were at home essentially. But, oh God, the inquest has begun. Should Gareth Southgate stay? Should he go? I can see why people think he should go. I do get that. My personal take on it is I don't really think we should be getting rid of him. This guy, we have gone from struggling to even get to quarterfinals, being knocked out by Iceland in round of 16s, sometimes even struggling to qualify for the knockout stages or even tournaments under certain managers. And the last four tournaments, we've got to a semi-final, a final, a quarter-final we got knocked out, which arguably were probably better than France, and a final to Spain. Is there better English managers out there? Probably not, if I'm honest. And as well, with what Southgate's done behind the scenes, which a lot of us won't see, it's kind of evident that the players want him there. Of course, it's down to him. I mean, the abuse that he's got, especially at this tournament, is absolutely insane, to be honest, for what he's done and where we are. But that's football fans, you know. Some people have been saying maybe Jurgen Klopp, maybe Pep Guardiola when he leaves City. It doesn't sit right with me of having a foreign manager as the England manager. I just always think that if you're going to win a tournament, you want it to be with an English manager. It just shows a bit of kind of we've got no one in England is good enough to manage the England national team, which I think is wrong. And I think even looking further down the pyramid of English football, there could be a manager there that maybe people would say, oh, he's only managing in League One or League Two or the Championship and he's not good enough. But it's very different. You know, if a manager's got the skills, he can perform it. But I do think we need to stick with Southgate, at least for the next tournament. I think I do think he'll walk away. I do think he'll maybe say, I've done all I can. But yeah, it's heartbreak. I just thought that it was going to be our time. I was just certain everything had happened through the tournament, all these different moments, Bellingham's overhead kick, winning on penalties, last minute winner against the Netherlands. It just felt like it was going to be done. And you know what the most heartbreaking part was? When Palmer scored, I thought, this is it. We're going to go on and we're going to win it. And this is our time. And it's just, I don't know, it's the cruelest way. You know, having that hope. It's like people say, the hope kills you. But yeah, we've had some fantastic memories along the way. But unfortunately, we just couldn't get over the line again. I don't want to dig players out, because I always think it can happen in one-off games. You can have a bad game, but I think in terms of over the tournament, I think Harry Kane has to be dropped in friendlies now. I think what he needs, whoever the manager is, needs to drop Harry Kane and needs to play Watkins or Tony or whoever, and just see how the system works that way, because we're so Harry Kane has to start, and he has done little to. He's done fuck all since, in 2018, let's be real. From when Southgate came in every tournament, and I'm not meaning friendlies, against Bulgaria where he scores hat-tricks, brilliant, yeah. But in tournaments for England, what does Harry Kane actually do? Because I don't think I've seen him play a good game, a proper man-of-the-match performance, or not score tap-ins or penalties. And I know a goal's a goal, but without being funny, he doesn't really contribute so much to the point where you'd go, he was getting taken off yesterday, and I think majority of people were like, yeah, that's the right decision. And that is so wrong, for that to be your captain, and it's and we're all thinking that, to be yeah, you haven't played well at all this tournament or past tournaments. I think Kyle Walker was responsible for 2 of the goals. I think he was responsible for the goal against Switzerland. I think if you look back to even Iceland before the tournament started, that goal came from his side. There's just Phil Foden. I know I said I wasn't going to go on about players, but I think we have to. I think Phil Foden has had an absolute ass tournament. Like, genuinely, he has not performed at all like he does for City. And that is proof in the pudding that he maybe is got the quality for City, but put him in a team when he has to stand up and be counted for, and he can't do it. Like, he can't, and I don't care what anyone says about Phil Foden. He should not have been starting every game. Cole Palmer should have been in for him. I think Bellingham was kept in because he can produce them moments, but there was some games you're a bit like, but I'm not going to dig him out, because to be fair to him, I think there was players that were worse than him. I know we ended up putting Shaw in because there was no injuries, but Trippier, I think that's got to be his last tournament, because you just saw that left side was just, there was nothing going down it with him and Foden. I thought Rice looked so shaky on the ball. I mean, I would try a midfield of Wharton, Mainu and Bellingham just to see what it's like. And I'm not saying I've watched Wharton, but he seems like a proper holding midfielder, whereas Rice probably needs a Wharton next to him. But for me, I think Mainu was better going forward than Rice, so that's why I would drop him. He probably won't be. Rice will be in the team. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but this tournament, I'd say Walker, Rice, Foden and Kane, absolutely, like just not to the standard that we expected. Mark Gay, I thought was fantastic. Jordan Pickford, absolutely reliable as ever. The young players, Mainu and Palmer, absolutely stepped up. Saka seemed pretty good. The whole tournament seemed pretty solid enough. Shaw was brilliant when he came in. Stones again. It's so sad, because you just think, what's the next step? What do we need to go over the line? And I just think we need a style of play without certain players in there. I don't think we can win with a player like Kane. I watched it for Man United when we had Ronaldo, and I knew we wouldn't win the major titles with Ronaldo the second time. And you know that I am absolute Ronaldo fanboy, but I knew that we wouldn't win it, because everything goes either through him, or he came maybe too deep, or the different players, Ronaldo and Kane, of course. But Kane, I don't know how many times I saw him in like the holding midfielder position, and then Saka was up on the wing, crossing it in or whatever, and there's just no one there. And you're going, Kane, you need to be in that penalty spot. If you're going to play Kane, right, you need to play Watkins or Tony, probably Watkins next to him, because Watkins has the pace. Like, you cannot play Harry Kane as a solo striker because he drops too deep. And I honestly do not believe that is Gareth Southgate telling him that, because if you watch him for Spurs and you've watched him for Bayern Munich, I've seen it so many times. Kane drops so deep and fires it out. Now, Kane is only good if you have two fast wingers, say like Rashford with his pace and Saka with the pace. Then it would maybe work, because you can put the balls over the back and they can come in like inverted wingers. But you cannot play him when you're going to have Foden and Bellingham in the team, because Foden doesn't go on the wing and he's got no pace to run down. He wants to be in that centre where Bellingham is, and it's just, I don't know. We didn't play well the whole tournament. We had fantastic moments, fantastic memories, of course we did. But in terms of getting over the line, it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, Spain were a fantastic team the whole tournament. I don't think anyone can deny that. But yeah, it's just, oh God, it's just so depressing. It's the hope that kills you. Like, I almost would have rather just been knocked out by Slovakia and not had all them moments. Bellingham's overhead kick, the penalties, the last minute winners. Just knock us out. Fucking knock us out in the groups. Do you know what I mean? Like, just don't give us this hope of getting to a final and losing it. However, that does show the progress of England, because we are now getting to finals consecutively, which we hadn't been to a final since 1966, and we've been to 2 Euros on the bounce. That is progress, massive progress. And I do believe, I said this to Ollie, that when Southgate came in, that first World Cup and his first Euros, I don't care what anyone says, when Southgate first came in, no one would have expected us to do what we did in them first 2 tournaments. 2022 World Cup, yes, fair enough, we should have maybe done a bit better, and we were the better side over France. And then this one was the one to probably really push on. So we're showing progress. It's down to Southgate's decision at the end of the day. I would personally, I'd keep him for another tournament personally, but he has to change the personnel he chooses. That's the only criticism I'd maybe have of him. And I know that you all have your your says. Leave them in the comments what you think. Should Southgate stay? Should he go? What could England have done better? Who was your players of the tournament for England? Who was the ones that either shouldn't be playing for England again or you thought had a really bad tournament? And also let us know who you'd pick to be the next England manager if it wasn't Gareth Southgate. But yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt for a little bit, but it's England. We've come back. We've done it before. We can do it again. I say that we haven't won still, but we're progressing. We're getting there. You know, after the last Euro finals, we all said, "Will we ever make another final again?" Well, we did it back to back. You know what I mean? It's the progress is there for all to see. But yeah, football. Hey, bloody hell! It's a cruel, cruel game, isn't it? When it doesn't go your way, but. Congratulations to France. Cucurella, I absolutely fucking hate you. You are an absolute... Thanks very much for watching, guys. You'll see us back when we're doing some of the matchday vlogs for Carlisle, Man United, other games. We're going to try and do a few European games. Hopefully get some big guests on over the next season. If you haven't already, watch the Paul Simpson interview. Fantastic insight on the FA, because he obviously was within England. And you can see the impact that the FA and Gareth Southgate have had in English football. Bit more in depth, but thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. It's all free. And we'll see you in the next one.